It is such a pleasure, my heart. And perfect alignment in everything that got me here is incredible. And people know what I'm talking about. I just want to say thank you first and foremost. My heart's, there's so much that I want to say.
Not time to say it all.
I understand, but you're going to get it in the feeling. But so much has brought me to this moment, and I am just in such tremendous gratitude and appreciation and blessings for all of it.
You've done a good job on feeling your way through your path of resistance to your alignment.
Yes, thank you. And I have truly experienced the I Am Source consciousness of who I am.
That's what connection is.
I've come back home to myself.
Yep. You're mostly there, not always. Sometimes you're aligned, sometimes you're not.
Yes.
Like everybody else.
Yes, because I'm human.
We say human.
I've had a spiritual awakening of multitudes, but the biggest and brightest of all of them that has truly shifted the DNA within me back to who I am. I've also had a rebirth as well. I'm so grateful and thankful to be back home. And, I find being an empath that the challenges that I experience are that I love being in alignment with source energy.
Yeah.
And my biggest dream was to source my happiness from within, because I've always known that there could be nothing greater than that. And having experienced that.
So is an empath one who calibrates to a chosen frequency?
Well, I feel all frequencies, but I want to only...
because your inner being doesn't feel all frequencies.
When I'm in my human physical being...
Well, we're just asking. You gave yourself the label of an empath.
Yeah. Well, that's my physical label. I mean, I understand.
What does it mean?
It means that I'm not... When I'm feeling energies that aren't in alignment with
So you're
source.
not doing it on purpose. You just find yourself drawn to vibrations that aren't natural to you.
Right, exactly.
Rather than use the word I'm an empath, just say I'm a sloppy thinker.
Yes, yes.
Because when you say I'm an empath, that makes it sound like you're doing it on purpose. And why would anybody do that on purpose?
No, I'm certainly not doing it on purpose.
So you use the word empath instead of I'm sensitive.
I'm sensitive. I feel people's energies very strongly.
But you see, this is what we want to get at. If you got out ahead of it, if you meditated and calibrated to your source, if you segment intended and calibrated to your source, you would not feel energies that are not where those are.
I totally agree. And I spend most of my time, when at all possible, remaining in alignment. But because I'm pulled out doing the day-to-day things that I do, and most people's energies I feel are not in a high vibration, because I'm so sensitive that I feel it. So it's a stronger...
So instead of saying I'm so sensitive, we would say I'm a sloppy thinker. I'm just not choosing when I can, because you're giving it labels and using words that make it sound like you are without choice, and you are not without choice.
Right. No. I 1000% agree that I am, but I find it...
You see, we're doing what your inner being always does. You say this, we say, we say this, and you say this, and we say, well, we say this, and you say, I say this, and we say, well, we say this. And after a little while, if you want to talk to us, start saying some of this. Don't argue for your limitations. Why are you describing yourself with such determination about vibrational frequencies that aren't serving you?
I hear you. I do. I hear you.
Well, it's because it's the way you've been describing yourself for a long time. You tell everyone, I'm sensitive. And it's been your way. A lot of people do it. Your way of trying to control them. I'm sensitive, so be good, please. I'm sensitive, so be kind to me because I'm sensitive. And they say, too bad. And you say, but I'm sensitive. And your inner being's over here, giving no attention to any of that. You're just out there.
So, thank you for that.
We're the only one that can beat you up and you don't feel beat up. because we know who you are and we know what you want, and we know that you're on the brink of knowing that. You are doing a really good example of what almost everybody does, of speaking it like it's been, speaking it like others have said to you, just holding yourself in a vibrational pattern that isn't good for you and isn't good for anybody else either. So you want to get to the heart of why you were preparing us with all of that? Was there a point to it?
I guess what I'm trying to express is that it feels so good when I'm in alignment. And I find that when I'm by myself.
But do you hear? It feels so good when I'm in alignment. But when you listen back to this recording, you're going to be astonished at how much airtime you gave to how bad it feels to not be in alignment. I'm an empath. I'm sensitive. Why verbalize it? Because I want people to get me.
No. It was more because
it's just for your own fun?
No. I felt as though, I just wanted to express that I understand that if I focus on that, that's what will be. I choose not to focus on that.
You're doing something that a lot of people do, and it's a trap. It traps you. You're saying, I feel so good under these conditions, so much better than these conditions. And when you make the comparison that way, it bites you hard. When you calibrate to what you don't want, it launches a rocket that your inner being focuses on. And your inner being is focused upon it. But when you take this other side, your inner being doesn't go back there with you, you see. So it's like you moved forward and then you didn't hold your ground. What you're calling sensitivity is just your emotional guidance system saying to you that you're out of whack with who you really are. It's not about other people's vibrations. You're associating it with the other people because looking at them is what made you feel that way. But what you're feeling is the split in your own vibration, and it really is irrelevant that there's somebody else that's doing it too. Does that make sense to you?
Fully. Yes.
Every emotion that you feel is only giving you information about the difference between where you are right now and who you really are.
Mm-hmm. I see that. So my question is, I want to feel good all the time.
No, you don't.
I do. It feels so good when I'm in alignment. That I appreciate the contrast because it provides me with a guidance that shows me that.
We get that. So I launch a rocket and I want to move to it and I want to savor it and bask in it and feel good in it. But you're not saying, I don't ever want contrast again that causes me to launch another rocket. So when you say, I want to feel good all the time, you don't mean that, do you?
I want to be feeling centered in alignment with me and in purpose and feeling good and not having externalities pull me out.
Okay, so step one is contrast causes you to clarify and causes you to ask. Step two is not your job. Step two is source calibrates to your desire, focuses on it unequivocally with no resistance, and it comes about as a vibrational reality. Step three is you, because you want to feel good, feel your way, calibrate your way to feeling good, and then you allow the manifestation. So you felt good while you calibrated, feels even better when it manifests. Then that's step one, step two, step three. Step four is you're really good at this because you're describing yourself. You want to feel good and you want so much to feel good that you are an excellent calibrator. You're sensitive, even an empath, to your own fluctuation of vibrations, and because you're so good at feeling vibration, you catch it early when it's easy to calibrate. If you let law of attraction get hold of a feeling that you're having or a vibration that you're having that's causing the feeling, and it gets a bunch of momentum going, you are powerless about it. You need a lobotomy or a long night's sleep or something. So step four is you're sensitive to emotion and you care about how you feel, so you catch it early and find yourself most often in sync with who you really are. That's step four, and we call that mastery of step three. It's just really good at step three. Step five is, I prefer to feel like this, but I also understand the value of exposure to life that will give me more clarity about something that I want. You see, you come here not without clarity. You are all kinds of clarity going on. This conversation is taking you into a new realm of clarity because you were stuck in words that mean a lot to a lot of people that are vibrationally inaccurate. And so we've had this conversation, and now you know something vibrationally that you did not know before. So you had
I
a
just
step.
want to play more, like meaning
You had a step one moment with us just now, because we're helping you to understand that more calibration is helpful to you and wanted by you. You don't want to be happy all the time. You want to be in step 5 all the time, which means when there is more contrast, you might not feel happy about it, but it'll interest you. You might not feel happy about it, but you feel empowered by what you know about the laws. You might not be happy about it, but you sure accept ownership of it, and you sure understand that words don't teach, and you sure see it as an opportunity to calibrate, and you sure do really like to calibrate. And when you calibrate, in other words, when you're a little out of sync, it feels so good to be in sync. When you're a little hungry, it feels so good to eat. When you're a little thirsty, it feels so good to drink. And we think that's what you were trying to say to us.
I guess you're absolutely truth.
So let's just leave it right there, because that's the highest conversation that this moment in time is going to provide. If you talk more, you're going to try to calibrate us someplace else.
Right on. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Just sit right there.